Hi, I'm Akai, beauty content creator and YouTuber.
And I'm Sacha Oko, brand owner of So Aesthetic Makeup and a beauty enthusiast.
Welcome to Beauty in Town.
Hi Valerie, welcome to Beauty in Town.
Hi Val, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us in our pink sofa.
Thank you ladies for having me.
Yeah.
I love this pink sofa.
Thank you. It's from House of Akai.
What's House of Akai?
It's a home interior furniture store and they have amazing pieces.
Oh,
yeah.
Where? I've never been there.
It's in Osu.
Oh, is it your store?
No, it's someone that we know in common. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'll tag you on Instagram.
Okay.
So she
tag
basically
it.
sponsored our setup.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
amazing.
thank you House of
Amazing.
Akai.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, she's got really nice pieces. But you're here today and I just want to say thank you for coming. We love you. I know we both know you personally. But we also wanted our viewers to get to know you more on a personal level, but business-wise, not family. We can keep that. We can put that at the side.
Yeah.
And your brand is R&R, which is, I mean, since you moved to Ghana, it's just like basically grown from so much. You know, it's in everybody's tongue. Everybody talks about the brand. People are using it.
Everyone's timeline.
Oh, really?
Instagram.
So I really wanted you to just talk about how the brand came about, and yeah.
So R&R Luxury, I founded it because I felt that there was a need for like an indigenous beauty skincare brand. I think actually it started accidentally. I just had my first baby. I was living in Lagos in Nigeria. I'd moved there from England and I just had first child and I wanted to use something on her skin that was natural and was, you know, local to the market. So I didn't want something that I'd have to import. And of course, you know, when you think about Africa, you think about skincare, you kind of think about like shea butter or cocoa butter. And I started doing my research and, you know, meeting different people, not farmers per se, but different people in the industry, finding out raw materials and trying out different things. And I discovered that you could have shea butter in the liquid form. Then it was very unheard of. It was very new. It was very crude, actually. It wasn't as refined and like aesthetically pleasing as it is now. But the fact that you could get it into a liquid, it kind of ticked all the boxes for me because I've always known what shea butter is, but I wasn't someone that liked fussing with it too much because initially I'd come to Ghana, buy shea butter, take it to London, and then it would be really hard. I'd have to mix it on the stove or put it in the microwave.
I used to mix baby oil.
Add
Just
things.
the
You'd
smell.
have to do things. Yeah, the smell could be quite overpowering. Although
Yeah.
I've actually grown to love the smell. When I
me
smell
too.
it, I like inhale. I love it now. But then I just wasn't sure about it, and I was always one of those people that's always running very late for work or whatever. So I would never have time to be mixing and concocting my own whipped butter or whatever. So I knew that it was good for you, but it didn't fit with my lifestyle. So knowing that you can get it as an oil, and for me as a mother of a baby, you have even less time, you know. You're constantly, you know, running after this newborn, feeding, cleaning, wiping, blah, blah, blah. So having it as an oil just made so much sense to me. So I started using that on my baby skin and I realized that it was something the whole family could use. And when my whole family started using it, I realized that, look, this is something that is not, we shouldn't keep to ourselves. We should really share it. And it's not that we didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. We didn't invent shea oil, but I just, with a marketing background, I understood that the value of it in the bigger marketplace. So when I started, I actually thought it was something that I was going to immediately export to the rest of the world. But funny enough, it took a turn that I realized that people locally and domestically were interested in having a product that was locally made, locally sourced, and was an indigenous brand. Like creating a brand. Loads of people, you can buy shea butter in the market. You can, you know, buy loads of shea-based products locally, but there was no brand at the time. Maybe there was some that were doing it for hair, but not for the skin. So I just thought, you know,
My
this is
kids use it. Everybody uses it. Like, I don't know. I think they drink it. Honestly, it's always finished.
Yeah, even my kids
that
do that.
You run out of it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and but for some reason, when I'm using it, it lasts forever. But when other people start using, my kids always come and take mine, and my husband. So actually, that's how we ended up starting the men's line because he just used to finish everything, and he'd say, "Oh, I'm taller than you. My body is bigger. I use more."
Okay. So how was it like moving from the corporate world to running your own business?
Actually, before I moved to Nigeria, I had my own PR company in the UK. So I'd worked for other PR companies, different PR agencies. I studied communications, culture and media, and straight out of university, I started working in PR, first in the music industry. Then I moved to an agency that focused on consumer, fashion and beauty PR, and then moved to others, and then eventually ended up setting up my own PR agency in the UK, which again was quite unheard of. There was two girls, myself and my good friend. We left our different PR jobs to come together and create our own agency, and then I was only 27 or so, and it was quite unheard of at that time for two young girls especially two black girls in London to be setting up on their own. But I think things have really evolved kind of since then. So we had our agency, and then when the opportunity came for me to move, to get married, etc., and I was leaving the country, I decided to just go freelance. So in Lagos, I was a freelance PR executive, so to speak, and I worked with loads of great fashion brands and beauty and music, big musicians that you've heard of. He was one of my initial clients in Nigeria. Tiffany Amber on the fashion side, Chris Eyre, he's a famous jeweler from Hollywood, but he's also Nigerian, and he was my client in the UK. But when I moved to Nigeria, he carried me along, and actually he really kind of eased my entry into Lagos in terms of getting to know the industry. But I continued with my PR job for years. I only stopped with my PR gigs, should I say, because I wasn't working for anyone specifically. I consulted with different brands. I stopped maybe 5 years down the line of R&R.
Okay. So how was it like as a Ghanaian owning a business in Nigeria? Like starting a business in Nigeria?
Oh, it wasn't a problem at all. Actually, I'm so glad to have started my company in Lagos. Lagos is so dynamic. It's such a dynamic city, and there's so much going on there. The industries, fashion, music, art, beauty. Beauty was still very fresh in 2010 when I started.
Now it's so big.
But now it's huge, and I think that's the thing about Nigeria. They really embrace things. They don't. They're open to things that are, home-based. They really push the made in Nigeria aspect. So actually Lagos was an awesome place to start, and I think Nigeria also sets a lot of trends for the rest of Africa, and even sometimes for the rest of the world. Look what's happening with their music. So for me, it was a great starting place, and as we grew, but the thing with Nigeria is that with my products, I always source them from Ghana. Having that Ghanaian in me, I felt the connection was always back home. So even though I manufactured, I produced in Nigeria and marketed and sold there, I opened a shop in Lagos, my raw materials were always from Ghana. So it just got to a point,
But you could have easily sourced raw materials in Nigeria.
Yeah,
they have shea, don't they?
They have shea, absolutely. But when in 2010, I just found that a lot of the suppliers and manufacturers, shea was slightly more advanced. The shea industry was more advanced in Ghana. So I was just more confident with the supply coming from here. So I used to bring it in to Nigeria, and then we'd finish it, package. Yeah, exactly. Road was actually just the easiest way to get things to us. And Lagos was a fertile ground, and people really embraced the brand. We still have a shop in Lagos today. We've just expanded it last year. And, we still have an amazing customer base there. And so when I moved to Ghana, it just made sense to now have the HQ here. One, me being here is important, and two, all of our raw materials being from here. And then just creating a very tight ecosystem was important, because then, you can save money that eventually is a saving for the consumer as well, and you can keep a tight control on your quality, your team, your manufacturers, everything. So that was a transition, but it was a good transition. I enjoyed starting in Lagos.
Well, we're glad you're here. What distinguishes you from the other skincare brands? Because as you already know, the skincare game is crazy. Like
natural skincare.
Natural skincare, yes. There's a lot going on here. There's so many shea products, and I know like tons. So what distinguishes you from them? I mean, I'm biased, so I'm team R&R, but I just really want to know what.
Well, naturally, the industry has grown. When we started, there really weren't that many. Ghana definitely was far more advanced in the shea industry. There were brands similar to ours, doing similar things. But a lot of those brands, those people are my mentors. They're the people that taught me what I needed to know about the industry back in 2010. And I'm still very close with all of those people now. In Nigeria, it's now a burgeoning, growing market. Then shea they didn't place that much value on shea. But when people realized just what you can do with it and how the quality of it and the fact that you can actually package it and make it look like something that you can buy from anywhere in the rest of the world, people really took to it, and other brands started coming up because it's not that difficult, let's face it, to find shea or to find, producers that make, let's say, coconut oil, for example, because they're right here in Africa. So barriers to entry are pretty low. But for us, it's about the quality of our produce, the quality of our ingredients are always the highest. We work directly with the suppliers. And in fact, we're setting up our own factory in the north that will be producing and processing our raw materials.
And there was one thing that I really like about R&R is the fact that you sell outside of Ghana, outside of Africa. And you find a lot of international brands coming in here to take our raw materials and taking it back to Europe. And you're doing it, you're local. And you're
She's doing it the opposite way.
But the right way, Because to be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, it's great. A lot of those brands that use the raw materials from Ghana and Africa and then they produce elsewhere, they've done a lot of the hard work for us in terms of getting people familiar with the ingredients like shea butter,
like body
cocoa
shop.
butter. Yeah, exactly. And they've done great things. But at the end of the day, when you take an ingredient raw, it loses value in terms. The economy loses the value. So for us, we're an African brand using African ingredients. We're producing on the continent. We're keeping our value chain all here. So it means
the money here as well.
we're keeping the money here. We're creating employment. We're growing the economy, and that's what is important. It's not just about taking the value and taking it out and producing and refining and stuff outside of the continent, because the economy will not grow. And so for us, it's it's multifaceted, that other than creating something that people need and people want, we're also providing jobs, we're creating employment, and we're also helping the economy, empowering women. Any time that you use shea butter, you're empowering women, especially handcrafted shea. It's always women that pick the nuts and women that process into butter. So it's very important to be involved with those women and understanding their needs and just making sure that you're taking them out of the cycle that they're used to. But even on the Accra level, creating jobs, we have our youth population, not just Ghana, but Africa is going to have the largest youth population in the world by 2050. And the rates of unemployment are very high. So if we can even employ 5 people, we take that very seriously. We take that role very, very seriously.
Do you think shea butter has become like a trend? Because like I've seen it now, like lots of brands are just putting in shea butter because like everyone is trying to like incorporate like natural products into their regimen. So do you think it's a trend that will...
No, because the reason that most brands use shea butter is because shea butter is very good.
It's good.
It's good. It does what it's supposed to. It's a natural emollient, and its qualities are very, very hard to find in other cosmetic ingredients. What shea butter can do and what it's capable of naturally is unmatchable. So I know you have some of the products that have had their moment. I won't mention necessarily the different ingredients, but I even went for a conference at the Body Shop years ago, and one of the things somebody asked, what's next after shea butter? And they said there's nothing after shea butter. Shea butter is there then, is here now, it will be there tomorrow. So as long as we manage to sustain the parklands and keep the shea and make sure that the trees continue to grow in the wild and they're well looked after and they're not chopped down for firewood, then we can maintain the industry. But there's nothing after shea. It's not a trend. I think many people have been using it in their formulations, not just because it sounds good, it's actually good. Even in the non-natural formulations, they put shea butter in because of the moisturizing qualities.
Okay. Are you gonna... Okay, I was going to ask, so the products that you have, so like black soap, shea butter, baobab oil, does it cater to like every skin type, every skin type? Does it cater to it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we do in terms of formulations, they're very simple. The ingredients list most of the time are 5 ingredients or less. and the majority of it is the base ingredient, which is shea or coconut or baobab. Sometimes it's just that one ingredient, but it's because we know the value of it and the quality that alone does a great job. But sometimes we mix essential oils, sometimes we blend them together, because together even they have different attributes, they do different things. So it's suitable for all skin types. Absolutely, it's not all for oily skin or for Caucasian skin or for black skin. It's actually suitable for all skin types.
Because even me, like I have oily skin, but I can still use. To be honest, like in the beginning, I was skeptical about using baobab oil because I have oily skin. Like, why would I put another oil on my skin? But it works perfectly. I use it at night though. I use it at night. I use the black soap. Previously I used to use black soap, but it was I think I got it from the market, and those ones don't have shea butter in it.
Yeah,
so it was
they dry your skin.
Very drying. So I just stay away from black soap for a very long time until I use R&R. Yeah, that's really good.
We pack it with oil so that it moisturizes as well as cleanses, because naturally people, it's high acidity, black soap, and soap in general, but it's got a high acidity level. So, a lot of people put black soap on and leave it on their skin. I don't know why.
Because I think there's a conception that it bleaches your skin. So that's why people used to leave it on for so long to bleach their skin. So I think that's where it came from.
Well, they need to leave that concept right at the door, because
so
no
right
one should
now,
be doing that.
where do you see R&R in the next 5 years?
What
would you like to see?
For us right now, there's various stages of growth. So it's not just about growth of the brand, the product, so expanding our product line, going into other formulations. It's also about expanding our value chain. So other than just creating a brand, we're also working backwards to own the processing aspect of it, so that we can control the quality from the nuts, from the farm straight to the shelf, so that we're involved in the entire process in creating the quality ingredients and ensuring that they are high quality, but also so that we're empowering people along the entire value chain. And the more we grow, the more places you're going to see us in. So, we've been doing a lot of work in different territories as well. Last year we spent a lot of time in the US. This year we're doing a lot of work in the UK as well. So hopefully the more...
How did your PR event go? You had the whole press week.
In London?
In London,
yeah. Well, we're working with a PR agency there to kind of get the word out and introduce people to the brand. So even though we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary this October, to the rest of the world, it's a brand new concept, a brand new product, a brand new brand. So we have a lot of educating to do. So we've just been spending a lot of time kind of educating people, introducing the product into the market slowly, direct to consumer, also speaking to the trade and seeing, kind of where we fit, and learning loads of lessons as well, because there's so many things that you don't account for until you actually go in and, take the plunge and get talking to people and testing your products on people. So we've been spending a lot of time kind of researching the different
honestly,
areas.
because I've known you for so many years, I've actually witnessed your journey.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like overnight. For people thinking your journey was overnight, you've explained so much to us. It's really nice to get to know more about how the company started up. So thank you very much. We would like to know what is your best 5 products from your range. How many?
Oh, we have about 20 plus SKUs, but stock keeping units for technical term. But most of the time they're variations of the same product. So for me, my daily routine consists of the liquid black soap.
I was just going to ask you that anyway.
The liquid black soap is my cleanser for my face and body, and then I use baobab oil to moisturize my face day and night, and I also use whichever shea oil I can get my hands on. If my kids haven't stolen it, whichever one I find, I use that for my body.
Do you use other people's products as well?
Oh, absolutely. It's not like I use that exclusively. I'm not getting any younger. So although these products, they do have naturally anti-aging properties, especially the baobab is amazing. I also insert retinols. I also have sunscreen that I use as well. We live in a very, very hot climate. The tropical sun is very extreme out here.
Very harsh.
You can't take for granted what that does to your skin. So even though things like shea butter in itself has natural sunscreen, but very, very low factor. So you have to use sunscreen on your face. So, you know, I layer different products, but my base products are always that, and they've been that for many, many, many years. So, you know, but in terms of my everyday basics, if you look, like if I travel and you look at my travel bag, it's literally R&R black soap, baobab oil, R&R shea oil.
Are there any other...
And my lip butter. And then twice a week I use the scrub. So there you go, 5 products.
Are there any other like business owners that you looked up to before you moved to Ghana, or still look up to now that you're here?
Oh, loads. I mean, I don't know if we were talking about this earlier. We also do candles, and one of my huge inspirations before starting my brand was Jo Malone. So that Jo Malone brand isn't actually owned by Jo Malone anymore, but she started it. It was bought by Estee Lauder, company. And so she now has a new brand, but Jo Malone is a huge inspiration. As a female who started a brand on her own, ended up going to acquisition by Estee Lauder. Her products are amazing. I still buy her candles, even though I make my own. Who else? I mean, there's Lisa's daughter. Lisa Price, who is the CEO and founder of Carol's daughter.
Who's also sold it to...
50%, I believe. She's on
L'Oreal.
L'Oreal.
Do you think you ever sell your company?
Oh, I'd never say never.
Yeah.
I'd never say never, absolutely.
I've realized, this is a trend in like beauty brands selling to bigger brands.
I think it's
like
the norm.
Kylie sold, but they sold 50% as well, not the whole.
51? Or
50.
Who?
Kylie.
Oh, 51, she gave to Coty, So at the end of the day, it's business. So, you know, some people get upset that they feel like the brands have sold out, or they want them to remain small, which doesn't make any sense. Surely you want our people to grow and go to the same level as all the other beauty houses. And
I find that we attack our own, but when the other world do it, it's fine.
Yeah, it's the norm. Like Facebook, you know, bought Instagram, or you know, whoever else. Those brands, everyone's like, yay, well done. But if it's, you know, a black-owned brand, indie brand,
I mean, if you have a really good product, like why wouldn't you want it to reach like a wider audience?
Exactly.
Because by yourself, you probably are limited by so many things.
It's as much there's a limit to grow. Like you're stuck.
If you have a bigger brand that could take your product like across the world, like why not?
Without losing the quality.
Yeah, quality.
And a lot of them, they keep the creative directors on board as well.
Yeah, they
Bobby
do.
Brown is still a creative director. I've been to Estee Lauder.
Exactly.
No, LVMH.
She bought by LVMH,
Okay.
And then you've got Richelieu Dennis, who's the owner of Sundial Brands, which was bought by Unilever 2 years ago. That's a great success story. And they started very much like us, you know, selling in local markets and out the back of their car. I mean, we didn't ever sell out of the back of the car, but it was the same thing. It was friends and family. Here's some products to try. If you like it, come back. And it grew from that. And thank God we're in the age of social media as well, because it's brought the world a lot smaller. You can put your brand out there, take great pictures, share great knowledge, and you can turn that into sales and awareness. So that's been a great help. So I mentioned, who's that? 3 people? Jo Malone, Lisa Price, Richelieu. So definitely people I look up to. There's so many more that I can go ahead and mention. But I'm also inspired by my peers. I'm inspired by people like Sacha. Yeah, definitely. You know, when you started your So Aesthetics brands years ago, that was before I'd started.
That was like a year or two. I think that was a year or two before. You know, I did your wedding.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just amazed that, you know, someone just like me. It's different to be in the service industry as a PR agency owner. You can do that, but starting a product label, you know,
and
brand.
it wasn't even the hardest because everybody was used to imported brands and
foreign products that they trust. When you're getting women to switch up their skincare, it's really not easy. So it's just a case of kind of building trust and educating and just creating something that, you know, you yourself will use, and just keep on going at it. It's not an overnight thing. And
you know,
prior
when it
to
starts,
you,
you always think it's going to be overnight, and after like
when reality
it
hits
hits
you,
you're like, no. Like I always tell like my team that I feel like we're now a new brand.
Yeah,
Like, you
that's
know,
the thing. The journey is
the
just,
journey is just
it's
beginning.
like beginning. You know, it's not ended. You're 10 years down the line, and
Yeah.
people think that you just started,
Yeah.
and you're like, that's great. It just means there's more
you're doing
opportunities, and the
something
more
right.
you've done it, so other people can come up after you, and they can say, okay, well, Sasha's done it. Why can't we do it?
Yeah.
Valerie's done it. Why can't we do it? And it's better for all of us.
Yeah.
Competition is good. And like I was saying, you know, when we got the Glitz Award for Best Indigenous Brand, I just said, look,
that was nice.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. I mean, what is the category of Best Indigenous Brand if we're the only Indigenous brand in the country?
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have a category.
Of
So
course.
the more that more companies that come up after us, the better.
Yeah.
Then it creates a story.
So we have some questions from social media. And the first one is, there's a conception that when you use shea butter, because it's an oil and that sun is really hot, it can make you darker. Do you think that's true?
I think the way you've asked the question is not the way most people ask it. Most people just say, hey, shea butter makes you dark. And we're like, well, if you put shea butter on your skin and you go and stand in the sun, you're going to tan. You know, it's not because it's a tanning agent or anything like that, but when you go out in the sun, you're going to get darker. So if you don't want to get darker, you need to use sunscreen. You should use sunscreen anyway, whether you want to get darker or not. But you should always protect yourself with sunscreen. But shea butter as an ingredient, as a product, as a fat, as a oil, does not turn your skin into another shade.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So the next one is, where do you source your raw materials from?
So that would be telling now, wouldn't it? But well, we all know shea butter is only grown in a very specific part. First of all, it's indigenous to Africa, and you can only find it on the savanna belt of Africa. So normally, where you are, depending on where you are, it's in the north. So if you want to find shea butter,
It's
go
in
to
the
the
north.
north, or find somebody who you know in the north, or you know. But I mean, I'm not going to start listing my suppliers or anything. But also, guess what? Google.
Yeah, Google.
Google's your best friend. Exactly. You can find your suppliers on there. Even Instagram nowadays, you find many people providing a service, providing ingredients. You know, loads of small businesses have come up fulfilling all the various needs of the value chain, not just finished products. Some people are doing packaging now. They're importing packaging and reselling. Some people will be selling raw ingredients. Some people give you the finished products. Some people even private labels. So you just need to do your research. That's how we all found out, you know, found our suppliers. Research.
So another question is, are natural products really natural, or are there hidden ingredients?
I mean, that's an interesting question. It just depends on the brand.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I think in some parts of the world, you can declare your product to be natural if it has 80% natural ingredients or 60% natural ingredients. But for us, when we say it's natural and we say it's 100% natural, it's 100% natural.
Now, off of that, like, what's the difference between natural and organic? And now there's even clean beauty, like...
Clean beauty or green beauty trend is about ingredients that are generally derived from the earth, that are plant-based products. Organic is about how the product is, or the ingredient is farmed. So if it's under organic circumstances, you would have to be certified organic, and it would have to grow in a specific area where it's not close to pesticides. It's done, you know, the people that work on the farm or on, you know, where it grows and paid a fair wage. There's very specific rules and regulations, and they have to be certified. So that is what organic means. Natural just means it's a natural ingredient from the earth, rather than man-made, rather than synthetic.
Okay, so next one is, are natural skincare products as good as the ones produced in the labs?
I think with products produced in the labs, it's a mixture of scientific-based formulations and synthetic materials, and everything has its purpose. But what we, as a brand, are sharing is what nature gave to Africa. You know, I didn't invent shea butter. Shea butter has been around for centuries. Our grandparents, you know, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents have used it, and they're things that have been healing our skin for centuries. So we know that they work. Everyone else knows that they work. But, you know, everyone has their reasons for formulating the way they do. But, you know, it depends what you're looking for, I suppose. But we know that the potency of the natural ingredients that grow naturally in our environment, and we know how good they are for your skin. So that's what we created the brand off the back of.
And how do I make my brand stand out from other brands?
I'd say be unique.
Yeah.
Be honest and true to yourself. Don't try and be somebody else. If you are your authentic, true, unique self, you will stand out from the rest because you're not copying, using somebody else's blueprint. If you create something that's about you, like R&R actually stands for it's my daughter's initials, my first daughter's initials. I started the brand after I had her, and it just made sense to pay homage to that and name it after her, and it embodies who we are, and it embodies me. It embodies my marketing, my branding background. So you can see that in the product I create. You can try and be R&R, but you will fail because you're not me. So if you're being yourself and honest and true to yourself, you will create something that's different from the next person in the market.
All right, Val, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Akai. Thanks for having me, Sacha. Very exciting. Congratulations on this amazing platform.
Thank you.
This is a first time in our part of the world, and I'm really proud of you ladies for taking the initiative.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching and listening to Valerie.
Thanks.
She really dropped some gems.
Yes.
Some good gems.
You can also follow her on her social media handles. She's got R&R Luxury, and then she's got her actual I wouldn't say business
Sacha
page.
puts up some. Sacha Valerie puts up some good things on her page, like podcasts to listen to. I just think that
I do
just
competition as
loves.
well. I did some giveaways.
Yeah. So it's good to follow her as well. There's so
Yeah.
many cool stuff she's doing, and she's showing it to us as well, so you can get more updates about what Valerie and R&R are doing.
So it's Valerie Obaze.
Yes. Thank you. And then thank you again, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Leave a comment below. And
make sure you like.
Leave a comment, like,
share, subscribe.
Yes.
All right, then. We'll see you guys in our next episode.
Thank you. Bye.